Hello everyone and welcome to another episode of Alumpreneurs, a series by the Student Alumni Relations Society, that is STARS of MIT World Peace University. Today we are incredibly honored to have with us Dr. Ravindra Utgikar sir to be a part of this series. The aim of this series is to connect with our alumni across the globe and have them come on board, talk about their journey and act as a resource and an asset to our students today. So, sir, of course, great pleasure to have you here. He is an MIT-WPU alumnus who is currently the Vice President of Corporate Strategies at Praj Industry, with vast industry experience in domestic as well as global markets in both product and project domain. In his career spanning over 3 decades in diverse industries such as instrumentation, process automation, power, renewable energy, he has had a rewarding association with organizations like Sterlite Technology, Suzlon India, Honeywell Automation India, formerly known as Tata Honeywell Limited, and Forbes Marshall. Passionate about sustainability and innovation, Dr. Ravindra Utgikar is an acclaimed industry expert and has a wealth of knowledge and experience to share with our students. We are excited to learn about his journey and gain insights that will help our students succeed in their own chosen careers. Welcome, Dr. Utgikar.
Thank you. I am flattered with that introduction.
Thank you, sir. So let's start with your present engagement.
Sure.
If you can tell us more about your company and your role and responsibilities there, that would be great, please.
So first of all, it's truly an honor for me to be back at campus. It's such a delight to see, all the faculty members and staff and also students excited about this program, and I share the excitement. So thank you very much for having me over. The company that I work for, Praj Industries, is in the business of accelerating energy transition as a sustainable climate action through bioeconomy. So in essence, we provide technology-enabled solutions that decarbonize the transportation sector. We provide biofuels and we provide biochemicals. We have technologies that actually help recycle the carbon using sustainable chemicals and materials. So this company, Praj Industries, is the hottest company in the globe in the advanced bioeconomy. And we have over 1,000 references spanning over 100 countries across 6 continents. So it's a very exciting company in the bioeconomy space. I look after the corporate strategy function. Again, corporate strategy means typically where to play and how to win. In addition to my corporate strategy role, I look after the corporate communications, which is directed towards inward to the employees as well as external to our investors, to our customer partners and so on. I am responsible for a central marketing function in our company, which is basically to do with providing all the marketing services, enabling sales to be effective in their role, providing state-of-the-art sales collaterals, market intelligence, insights. I also look after the investor relations. And the last but one of the most important part of my role is also international policy advocacy. So it's a very exciting times for bioeconomy and for India, and we look forward to continuing this dream run that we have in the bioeconomy.
Right. Yeah. It's so good to hear about where the company is at, and we hope to see what it does in the future now.
Sure.
So, sir, let's start from the beginning. MIT, I'm sure, must have played a huge role in your life. You pursued your bachelor's in electronics and communications from MIT. How has that journey been? What has the trajectory been like? And how has your journey at MIT shaped you, your career? So, you would love to know more about that.
It's a nice question because it's helping me dive in the memory lane. I did my electrical engineering diploma and I joined directly at the second year, and by the time I joined, midterm had already happened. So it was in a way, overwhelming experience in terms of M3 and strength of materials, high level subjects, and clearly MIT always attracted the best of the best students. So very strong peer group. So I do remember the peer pressure. Since that time, MIT has always attracted cosmopolitan, students, which was very different from my earlier background. So I remember some of the cultural inhibitions and overcoming them, some adjustments there. I distinctly recall. I always recall MIT and which even till date is known for value-based education. So I think that's the one of the most important learning I have from the golden period that I spent at MIT. Clearly, the professors were cream de la cream. I mean, starting with Vishwanath Karad sir, Zog madam, Saraf sir. I mean, I can go on, and we were so fortunate to learn from them. So that those again left indelible mark on the career, I would say. Clearly the one thing that you asked about, what was the one tipping point. So I remember, unlike today's times, getting first class there in those days 30 years back was a big thing. So I remember in the final year engineering project, we did one project, I even remember the name, 3-phase AC induction motor soft starter using thyristor control. And we gave everything to that project, and we were perhaps the class toppers, and I got the first class in my final year electronics engineering, and that I think tremendously boosted my confidence. So I have no hesitation in saying that MIT laid a very strong technical value-based foundation for the future career growth, and it was immensely confidence boosting stay at MIT.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have an impressive academic background. So as you mentioned, diploma in electrical engineering, then at MIT, bachelor's in electronics and telecommunication. Then we see a shift. There is master's in marketing and then PhD in international marketing strategy. So what catapulted you to switch sides? Why from hardcore engineering to then marketing?
That's a good question. I still remember, when we took admission in electronics and telecommunication, there were not many colleges offering telecommunication program. Only I think COEP and MIT were offering that. So we were very, very technically driven. In fact, I come from a family background which values education a lot. My father was a civil engineer. My mother was a science graduate in 1950s in Bombay, Ruia Ruparel. My brother is postdoctoral scientist from UD City. My sister is MD anesthesiologist, and my brother-in-law is gynecologist. So in short, we value education and this so much. So there was always at the back of the mind to study further. Now I remember in my career progression, I got opportunity to work internationally very early on. And there I was exposed to different cultures, different travel across continents, meeting different people, knowing finer aspects about the culture, how things work. There was always tremendous curiosity about, different countries, how the economics work. So I thought it was a little bit logical progression when you have flair for travel, when you have flair for meeting people, when you have inquisitive about how things work, to go towards a little bit of marketing side. And that's what logically took me in that direction. So even my career moved in that direction, and as such I was nursing a dream to do post-graduation. So I thought it was a logical progressive elaboration or evolution to head to management and then to marketing. And then whatever work I had put in international business, over traveling around 40 countries across 5 continents, go-to-market strategies, market entry, market growth strategies, all that culminated into my doctoral thesis. So in a way it was a logical progression.
It was understanding your own personality that sort of made you shift. Okay.
I mean, like Buddha had said that knowing yourself, खुद को खोजे बाकी सब Google पे मिल जाता है, is how people say it. So I think it's a discovery phase, and once you find where is your sweet spot, I think you tend to move in that direction. Yeah,
that's good to know. And then you were recently recognized with the Numavi Bhushan 2024 award. So can you tell us more about this award, why you were one of the contenders and why you won, and what it means to you?
That's a great question again. Probably I would rate that as one of the high points in my entire journey, life journey, not just career journey, because the school that actually laid the bedrock of career actually recognized my contributions in society, in academics, in industry, was an extremely fulfilling moment. But I must add that even before my school recognized me, my alma mater MIT recognized me as jewel of MIT for my contributions in industry. And not only that, even my postgraduate college InSearch had recognized. So getting this Numavi Bhushan award was a hat trick of sorts, that school, graduation and post-graduation, all three colleges somewhere recognizing some work that I'm doing. Obviously, I owe it a lot to my institutions, my family, friends, professors, and mentors in the industry who have helped me progress. So I think it was a very fulfilling moment. Padma Bhushan Mujumdar sir actually gave me this award, who is considered as one of the pioneers in management education. So it was a very fulfilling moment.
So we also know that sustainability is something you're immensely passionate about. So we'll just move there. MIT has recently, we have started with our education system as well. We have a school of sustainability now.
Right.
So we would want our students to know more from your background in sustainability. So your profile showcases risk management, brand building, educational institutions, the support you provide. So in your experience, what are some of the biggest challenges institutional face in preparing students to handle sustainability in corporate world today, because it has a direct impact on the planet? So what is it that we need to do, academia needs to do better?
I think that's again a great question, and I must compliment you for that, because sustainability is extremely important at all walks of life. And the earlier we imbibe it in our education journey, it becomes way of life for us. So getting into the finer details of sustainability at the education phase, reduce, recycle, reuse, replenish, repurpose, rescale, has to be the mantra, which is actually going with the circular economy. We often find that when we have a new talent coming from institutions in the industry, they are not aware of this concept as much as they should be. So I think industry and institutions must collaborate a little bit more in this area. There is an opportunity where industries should actually give exposure to the students, and college should give some credits for students to do some programs in the sustainability domain. The consumers have stated preference to green products, to sustainability. And if the students come with that innate desire that all my actions will be to save carbon footprints, utility footprints, energy footprints, and the whole idea is to do more from less for more, then I think we would have made it. So I think industry and academia need to work much better in terms of finding the projects, finding the sweet spot for innovation in the sustainability domain, because as we know, climate change is the biggest threat to the mankind, and what worked yesterday won't work today. So we have to look for innovative solutions, and those innovative solutions come technology enabled. So on one hand, students studying technology, on the other hand, industry has applications. So I think when these both streams converge, magic can happen, and I think that's where we need to prepare students from the very beginning in their academic journey.
With laws coming around the world for such stringent laws, I think companies need to prepare better, and students who enter the field.
Whether it is environmental, social governance, whether it is a business responsibility, sustainability reporting, whether it is the stated targets for net zero compliance. Some of this, if students are also aware, so that the day they step in the company, they are straightway aligned with company's way of doing business.
Right, absolutely. That makes sense to us.
Sure.
So you are sought after in industry academia forums, and you're a prolific writer, an avid reader. So, and you talk on various topics. You cover management, environment, sustainability, technology. How do you keep up with the developments? How do you manage career, life, all of this? How do you do it?
This is one question I must admit I get asked every now and then. But look, when you are passionate about something, you tend to find time. There is always good time to do good things, as they say. So, I'm a little bit selective in my reading. I read, apart from the business dailies that you read every day, I read Economist. I read some of the coveted trade articles, some of the reports coming from World Economic Forum, International Energy Authority, which makes you aware about the latest trends in the environment, sustainability, innovation, technology domain. So I think when you hear those thoughts, you would want to be a brand ambassador and carrier of that vision or those thoughts. So I think it has paid me handsome dividends to be able to constantly reading those. I have a daily commute of about hour, 1.5 hours, I think, which is part of everyone's life. So on my way to office or back, I listen all the time to podcasts, I listen to YouTube videos, TED Talks, some of the fantastic speakers, whether it is Yuval Noah Harari, whether it is Adam Grant, whether it is, listening to some thought leaders who are exchanging the best and the latest in technology, sustainability, environment, innovation. Probably these things get into you. And then you are consciously consuming the content which is value added. And when you consume that content, you have this innate desire to deliberate it with the intellectuals, with the forum. So you have to also associate with good forums. And I've been very fortunate to be a member of CII, a member of Pune Management Association, Indo-American Chamber of Commerce, some of the C4I4, some of the Industry 5.0. So where you meet intellectual people who you have opportunity to listen to, who you engage with, you consciously attend book launch events. So I think it is a concerted effort to be with people who are achievers, read the content which is value added, watch the podcast which bring a new perspective and dimension. All that happens on the go and by and by. So it's very natural. And I think when I write in newspapers, when I speak at various forums, I get tremendous response, as can be seen on the social media side. Not every time it is all great, but some are motivating, some are value adding. But I think it is this response that works like a shot in the arm or as a tonic to strive harder.
Right. I think we'll next be troubling you for a list of all the podcasts we need to listen. I'm sure all the students would really benefit from it. So, of course, that. And then moving on from sustainability and your experiences, marketing has played a crucial role. That is where your core domain lies. So market research again forms fundamental basis for any startup, any organization, because if you don't know what you're doing, what is in demand, what you need to supply, there is no point in creating something. So how is it that you think students entering the market or freshers need to conduct market research to understand industry trends and stay at the top of them?
That's again a good question, because we have so many MBA students who are approaching us for market research assignment. So I think the starting point is a clearly defined objective and purpose of the research. What is the outcome? I'm not saying output, outcome. So you are not doing research to just roll out a report which is output, but you are doing research for a desired outcome. So the objective clarity is a fundamental starting point. Then there has to be clear SOW, scope of work defined with timelines, because research is one such thing which is little bit like a bottomless pit. You can go on, and as you open one door, 10 other door open, and so on and so forth. So I think having clear objective, having clear scope of work, timelines defined is very important to lay the boundary conditions. Once you have that, you clearly categorize. Typically the market research would fall in a technology category, which are the latest technologies that are coming in, how they are impacting, how they are relevant to your business. It could be obviously in the customer domain, what are customers' needs of today, customer needs of tomorrow, how the buyer preferences are changing, what are their stated needs, what are their unstated needs. So that is focused on customer. The third could be on policy. I think you just spoke a while back that global mandates are coming. Yes. What are those mandates? What do they mean to our business? We'll have to change few things. What are the draft mandates that are coming in at a national, state, or even global level? So studying those, dovetailing our strategies back could be in policy domain. And clearly you are not alone in the marketplace. So doing a competitive research, what is competition doing? Because just as you are working hard, someone else in some other part of the world is also researching.
Yes.
So how is our competitor moving? Are they ahead of the curve? What we have to do to catch up, or are we ahead of the curve? What we have to do to keep up the lead? So you have to do the competitive research. So basically, again, one of these domains you have to choose. And obviously following the research, which is the very fundamental step, goes analysis synthesis, then deriving insights from that research. But to get the desired outcomes, you have to have time bound, personalized action plan. Who will do what? So I think research, analysis, synthesis, insights, and actionables. That's the way one should go about research.
Absolutely. That cleared up a lot of things, and I hope it helps a lot of students as well. So, sir, looking at your trajectory, I think inputs from you regarding strategy will prove to be very crucial as a resource for our students. So, what are your insights into creating a strategy to begin with that upholds a very robust brand image, because that is how people perceive you, that is what you're remembered for. So what strategies do you have to develop to get there?
I think that's again a great question. Products are born on shop floor, brands are born in your mind, so goes the saying. Or they also say that perception is reality unless proved otherwise. So I think everybody is trying extra hard to build a positive perception, to increase the circle of influence. But fundamental to this is a bold line connection between delivering on promise all the time.
Right.
So you can't perpetually create a positive perception without having absolutely rock solid product that delivers on the promise. So I think that's very, very critical. So concerted efforts on communicating the value proposition to customers, to target audience is more important. That what differentiates us, what sets us apart, and how we do it time and again, year after year. So that actually builds a solid perception about brand as a starting point. But that's just not good enough, because with the advent of technology, digital advancement, so many new avenues are opening. So phygital is the word that is newly coined, physical and digital. There were traditional physical means to do the brand building, now there are digital means. So you have to adopt both channels. You have to constantly remind, reassure, reinforce your target audience about your contributions, value addition, and how do you make the difference, how do you create the value. Success stories, case studies, some of the thought leadership articles in the select magazines need to be brought to the attention of our target audience all the time. We have to also benchmark with the best in business. How are we doing with the best brand? Where are the gaps? So those gaps we have to consciously fill. So brand management is a process, and it is ongoing process. So it cannot be that once a brand is built, it's good forever. No, every day there is a new beginning, there is a new match, and the more the strong brand, the harder is the promise to keep up the expectations of people. So I think brand building is a very fascinating topic.
Right.
Yeah.
That was very insightful, sir. And 3 decades of journey
Yes.
into this field, and I'm sure you must have seen a lot of hurdles, a lot of challenges. Is there anything, a specific project or something that comes to your mind in terms of you truly overcame, or you truly stayed with you and shaped you or changed perceptions? Anything like that you would
I think
like
that's
to
again a good question. It's making me think. There are several things that come to my mind, but if there is one thing that has to stand out, it is, I remember we were trying to globalize. We were trying to spread our wings across the continents. And the challenges of globalization were overwhelming, because we simply did not estimate the gravity of intercultural barriers. We simply did not, and I'm talking this about 20, 30-year-old story, because today Google Translator online help is available. But back then, overcoming intercultural barriers, overcoming the language challenges, timelines, going to a different continent, particularly developing world, attracting, retaining, growing local talent, which is, which wasn't so easy. Today, India's perception is changing, but back then, developing country trying to hire talent from developed nation wasn't looked in all that great light.
Yeah.
So some of these challenges we had. Even building the partner network, when you are in India, when you have local contact network in play to get vendors, consultants, bankers, HR agencies is so easy. But building that partner network was also important. And the another big thing was compliances, regulation, mandates. So those you have to study in detail, because they are very different. So all this puts together some big challenges on globalization, and there was no playbook there which could be referred. So we learned it on the go, and that was very interesting also, by the way.
That's an interesting case study to look into for our students, because it's fundamental. Even today, as we step out into the world, globalization still plays a huge role.
And the bigger the challenge, the immense is the learning from that challenge and the satisfaction that you overcame that challenge. So looking back, that is one thing that I feel very proud.
I'm so glad, sir. We would like to know more in detail.
Sure.
Someday I'm sure our students would also approach you for that.
Definitely.
And sir, you have worked with industry doyens. You have worked with, you have had very close associations with Tantis of Suzlon, Agarwals of Sterlite, and Dr. Chaudhary of Praj. How has your experience been? How are these people? What do you learn from them? What are your takeaways from them?
If there is one thing that I find immensely gratifying, satisfying, fulfilling, is opportunity to work with industry visionary leaders. Basically, I have seen that they have this X factor, they have this ability to see ahead of the curve, which other people can't see. They have this ability to see big picture things, which we struggle to look at, and it sounds so silly back then, but things roll out that way. They have this unique ability to bond with people who are willing to pledge everything for them. It's like they draw this rainbow and allow everybody to pocket part of that rainbow and make you believe that this is your rainbow. So that's a unique quality all these people have. Another thing that stands out is their ability to take risks. All of us have great ideas, but very few of us act on them because we are deterred by several uncertainties around them. So these are the people who take risks. More often than not, I have found that their leadership style is very affectionate, very hands-on, and yet they differentiate themselves because they have this ability to have a tree vision as well as a forest vision. So I think that's very important, which means they have eye for the detail. At the same time, they know when to let go. So I think some of these things are clearly big drivers and inspiring things. And then finally, their tremendous desire to make a difference to the society, to the mankind, to the world, and to the humanity as a whole, and leave a legacy. And I think when you are working with them, you totally get involved and absorbed and inspired and motivated to work with them. So I've been very fortunate, I must admit.
Humble, visionary.
Absolutely.
And just the affection to
Absolutely.
And legacy, as you said.
Legacy.
I think that is what I picked up from the core of what makes a good leader.
Indeed.
And sir, as we come to an end, WPU, MIT-WPU as a university is always striving to be the best in the field. We are striving to create competent and really top of the class students. We want to give them the best education possible, the best knowledge possible. So what are some ways that you see alumni involvement, mentorship, guidance being impactful for these students, especially those pursuing engineering courses or your other domain, marketing, which is also MBA in marketing is also quite popular at MIT-WPU. Right. So what insights do you have?
I think that's a good question again, In industry, we say that all things being equal, customer experience is a differentiator, right? In fact, the only differentiator is customer experience. Every single touch point with customers, starting from a digital contact all the way to the life cycle, how you make him feel is a truly differentiator, because people can match products, solutions, feature to feature. Same is the case with academia. Student experience has to be at the heart of everything, right? But what is student experience? You should take a survey and understand what student experience, what do they value, what they aspire, and we have to build a learning ecosystem around that. Because I think the education paradigm is shifting, the days of learning teaching are going, knowledge-based teaching are going. It is all about experiential learning. It is all about application, hands-on, practical learning, because knowledge you can get on MOOC, Khan Academy, Coursera. But how do you help students do things differently? How do you help them shape up to be a better professional in the industry? So the whole focus is shifting from what teachers want to teach to what students want to learn. So I think if we can build a whole syllabus, project, the entire courseware, the entire immersion programs around it. And Alumni have a big role because they can come in to be partner with the institution to give the latest trends. They can give internships, they can give projects, they can give employment opportunities. We can also help them become entrepreneurs. Also things like sustainability, innovation, these are the things that are ongoing in industry. So Alumni can come in and help college pick up some of those threads. It's a two-way street. So I think there is a great opportunity in MIT-WPU with your kind of alumni reach out program, visibility program. I think is doing already a good job, and the more we do, the less it is, because I think you are the trendsetters. Right. So I wish college all the very best, and I look forward to continuing my engagement in
Thank you, sir. Sir walks the talk. Sir is currently on the advisory board for Ramcharan School of Leadership. So that is proving to be extremely beneficial, and you are in a way setting the benchmark for what the alumni can give back to their alma mater.
Indeed, yeah.
So it is phenomenal, and with that we come to the end of our series with Dr. Utgikar. Another day, another Alumpreneurs episode, and we hope you keep listening. Thank you, sir.
It was truly an honor.
Thank you. Thank you.